to have good capacity, but you guys don't drink. So how did you maintain that is what I'm interested in.
Because we're saints. That's the truth. But no, like I think from what I've noticed of people around me, like whoever drinks, there is generally something that drives them to drink or want to drink. Like I think in the case of when we were first starting out in college, we were in a hostel. Manipal's a hostel setting.
Yeah.
And that freedom is what drives a lot of people to have their first drink, because like there are no repercussions of it, there are no parents around, so you essentially can do whatever you want. And from there, like you have it the first time, you realize that okay, maybe it's good or it's not good, like depending on your experience. But depending on the kind of experience you have, you start to realize that hey, maybe I like alcohol, or like it's supplementing.
And it's also a social thing.
It's a social thing. Yeah, I feel like that's also the case more in corporates, because I know so many people who've gone through college not drinking.
Oh yeah, that's
but the
true.
moment they enter the workforce,
wow,
they're
okay.
drinking.
Yeah. Or like smoke, because there's always a smoke break.
Is more. Yeah. Like so for me, I think the case was I'd never had an inclination to try it.
Okay.
There was no incentive for me.
You know, I remember I was in a bit of a crisis, and this was a long time ago when I think on New Year's or something. I think a friend told me that, Pratip drank with his family, and I had a bit of a crisis. Because I'm like, now if Pratip drinks, I'll be the only one. But yeah, I remember that. For me, it's the same thing. I think for me, it's two things. One, I know I have an addictive nature. Like I get addicted to things, routines, substances, drugs, just things like easily.
Jelly.
Yeah.
Just jelly.
Yeah, yeah, sure. And it's that, and yeah, alcohol never appealed to me. Like the idea of not being in control scares me. And so when I see people do things while they are drunk, so I'm like, stay away. It's because I'm not gaining anything by drinking, nor am I losing anything. So just might as well not drink.
But I want to expand on this a little bit more, because you said it's about maybe freedom, things like that. Do you think was it related to your upbringing? Then you realize, okay, that this is something which is not interesting to me, or because at least the struggle with I had was social settings, right? Where all my friends are drinking, they're having fun. How does that factor into your decision making? I want to know.
While growing up, I mean, there were a lot of movies where men drank and they would like beat women up, and I always had that in mind. And I always had that's where the idea of not being in control comes from, because in a lot of these movies the men wouldn't have control, they would beat the wife up, and next day there's a whole drama going on in the movie. But yeah, then the men would be apologetic, and I'm like, dude, like I can't do that. And when my friends drink, I couldn't care less. Like the idea of peer pressure doesn't get to me. I don't have FOMO and all of that. So if all of my friends are going on a trip just to drink and they say you can't come if you don't drink, well, so be it. Yeah, like peer pressure. I also think it's a cricket thing. Like for the longest time, at least for me, I wanted to be a sportsman. So I knew I couldn't drink, I couldn't do certain things. But even the peer pressure aspect of things of FOMO. While growing up, I hardly went to birthday parties. I hardly went to like sleepovers. I hardly went to this, because you always had the match the next day. You always had practice the next day. So I couldn't be FOMO. I couldn't.
More of a lifestyle thing for you guys then.
Lifestyle / discipline, maybe that from an early age. Like when I think back, obviously, like my parents did tell me alcohol is not good, but never explicitly. Like it was always in some context, or maybe if I'd read the newspaper, for example, and like you'd say that this drunk man has done something, whatever. So from there, in some sense, I guess, but completing that train of thought, it was never explicitly told to me. So very interestingly, when I got into Manipal, that was my first question to my parents. That this college has XYZ reputation. Why are you still okay with me going to this college?
Right. Now, if you have enjoyed that, imagine watching the entire episode. Go down to our channel and watch the entire episode, and make sure you like, share, and subscribe. See you next time.